Let's talk about interval notation for a minute. Interval notation is used to represent our solutions to inequalities. So let's review inequalities. The possible choices are less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. We know that if we want to graph, we have to use an open circle. And here are two representations of what a graphing would look like if we opened to the left. See, our point faces the same way. Or we opened right. Our points face the same way. Now let's look at less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. We're going to have a closed circle. That means it's filled in. So I'm going to have a filled in circle pointing to the left to copy the point that I have. So our solutions can be less than or equal to. So we're going to fill in our circle because that is a possible solution, and anything to the left is a solution. On the other hand, greater than or equal to, that means that whatever number we have can be a solution, and we're going to point it right. So our point faces the same way when we graph. Now let's talk about interval notation. For less than or greater than symbols, we want to use rounded brackets. That means it's not included. If we have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, we want to use a regular bracket that looks like that. Here's a special note. Negative infinity and positive infinity always use a rounded bracket because we can never reach infinity. And also because in negative infinity and infinity, when we're writing an interval notation, simply mean to continue on forever. Let's try a problem using all three of these steps. So we have 7x minus 2, x minus 4, negative 2. Okay, so 7x, we're going to do minus 2 times the difference of x minus 4 is less than or equal to negative 2. We're going to distribute our 2 into both. Now we can either distribute, let's distribute it as a negative. So I'm going to change this to plus a negative because it's the same thing. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is plus 8. And as you know, I like to rewrite everything else. Now I'm going to combine like terms, and I underline them. 7x plus a negative 2x is 5x, plus 8 is less than or equal to negative 2. Now I'm going to subtract my 8 to move it over from the left to the right. This cancels out, and I'm left with 5x is less than or equal to negative 10. Now I'm going to divide by a positive 5. So x is less than or equal to negative 2. And that's my answer. Now I want to graph it. So I'm going to make a simple graph. If I have less than or equal to, that means I'm going to have a closed circle over negative 2. Because negative 2 is a solution. So if I plugged in negative 2, it would say negative 2 is less than or equal to negative 2. Well, that's true. My inequality means any number less than negative 2, that goes left. So my point faces the same direction. Okay, now for the interval notation. We always know that negative infinity is over here and positive infinity is over here. So whenever I write interval notation, I read my graph from left to right. And as I read my graph from left to right, I write my interval notation that way. So I'm going to come from negative infinity, and as our rule states, we always use a rounded bracket. I'm going to write a comma, and I'm going to stop at -2, but it's included as a solution, and we have a closed circle. So we are going to use a regular bracket because -2 is included. And that is that is how we write interval notation for this simple inequality. There's only one inequality drawn on this graph. So you would read it left to right, negative infinity all the way to -2, and that's how you would write it, left to right.